All right, welcome everybody to another Taunton Focused Nonprofit. We are on episode 29 this month, so thanks for being with us. Today we have NeighborWorks Housing Solutions. We have Julie Lane, who's the Director of Lending,
Yes.
and we have Melinda Miranda, who's the Lending Manager. So thank you guys for coming in today and talking to us about these vital programs
Yes,
that help home
absolutely.
buyers. So you want to give us a little history of yourself
Sure.
before we
Yeah.
move on?
Thank you for the opportunity. Obviously, we're happy to be here. So my name's Julie Lane, as Jay said, and I am the lending director at NeighborWorks Housing Solutions. To give you a little bit of background on our agency as a whole, let's see here. Well, let me back up. I'm going to start at the top here. We are a chartered member of NeighborWorks America, which is countrywide. And very often, whenever you see any kind of housing crisis, or even any kind of a crisis that happens, whether it be economic or catastrophic or whatever, weather related, a lot of NeighborWorks agencies are at the front lines helping out people in need. So we are a chartered member of NeighborWorks America, and our organization as a whole is called NeighborWorks Housing Solutions. We have been operating in Massachusetts since 1970, under a different name at that time. Since 1970, we started in Quincy, and we have now grown. We cover our area, that's basically the whole South Shore. Since that time, we have grown to 6 office locations, which I will talk about in just a moment. And we're the largest nonprofit housing agency on the South Shore. We offer a lot of different resources. Our website provides a lot of information for people, which I will give that out in just a moment. So let's see here, we do everything from redeveloping property for affordable housing, formerly homeless, veterans, seniors. We have about 15 different properties up and running right now with over 1,000 units in them. We've partnered with other agencies such as Father Bill's in Brockton. We have partnered with them on 3 different locations, a couple in Brockton, 1 in Quincy. We've got some properties in our pipeline as well that will be coming over the next year or two, as far down as Wareham, all the way up to Quincy. And so we're looking to expand those units for, whether it be elderly, disabled individuals, families, to, 1,500. And so that's been, we're very fortunate to be able to do that. And we've done some rehabilitation of some historic properties as well.
You guys are very popular in Brockton. I know you've done some great stuff in the Brockton area
Yeah,
as far as rehabbing old buildings and stuff like that. So it's great to see.
Yeah.
Now, the lending side is something that you're very strong, both of you are, as far as how to help on the lending side. And I know you've got programs like the first-time home buyers and stuff. So talk a little bit about that stuff.
So I am going to get into the lending. I do want to let people know that we also have a housing consumer department, HCEC department, Housing Consumer Education Center, which is there for people to use as a resource if you're a tenant or a homeowner. And we have HUD certified counselors on staff that can provide assistance with anything from financial literacy coaching, budget planning. For homeowners, there's foreclosure prevention. For tenants, there's rental assistance. We are one of the state administrators for the RAFT program. We do reverse mortgage counseling. What else do we do? Foreclosure prevention, I think I mentioned. If you are looking to buy a home, a multifamily, and you want to be a landlord, we do landlord training. And then, of course, our first-time home buyer classes.
Now, getting back to the assistance programs that you have, what are you seeing out there now? We all hear about the economy and how hard it is. I mean, what are you seeing now? I know it seems like homeowner education is always tops as far as, and what is it? Is it just that people get into, they become house poor? They just buy these houses that they can barely afford and they need help as far as trying to figure out how to make ends meet? Or what are you guys seeing on the street now? I know it's probably a little different than it was a couple of years ago.
We see, with the senior population, we see a lot of properties that are changing ownership. And so, maybe some of our seniors have been at the same location for many years, but once the ownership changes, the rent, drastically changes, and all of a sudden it becomes unaffordable for them. So we're seeing a lot of that. And so we will provide RAFT in some cases. It depends. Every situation is very unique, and it depends on the individual circumstances. But we do have, dozens of resources available, and if we don't provide it as an agency, we certainly, try to point people in the right direction of where they can go for assistance.
So just so people in the studio audience understand, what does RAFT mean?
So RAFT stands for Rental Assistance for Families in Transition, and it can be used, again, for homeowners or for tenants. Homeowners, if they are facing foreclosure or at risk of foreclosure, they can get up to $7,000 a year for help with, mortgage in arrears. And then for tenants, same thing, $7,000 a year. They do have to have, the certain criteria. They have to have a notice to quit type of thing. So if people want to go to our website, which is www.nhsmass.org, Mass is MASS, they will find on our website there are different places where they can complete an intake form, and the proper department will get back to that individual within 24 to 48 hours.
Melinda, what about on your side as far as what you're seeing? I mean, what are people struggling with, and where do you guys hit the home run as far as assistance goes?
So I think knowledge is really important, and it lacks until you get into that first-time homebuyer educational course. I see a lot of inquiries, and we post that we have funding available for down payment assistance, and they want to get into that right away, which who wouldn't, right?
Right.
But then they have no idea that they need to have this education and how many steps are really into your home buying journey. So I think it's really knowledge. I think a lot of people are lacking knowledge, and we're the perfect place to get it. We do the first-time home buyers, then we take it up a notch to really buying a home is a business, so becoming a landlord is really important to have those fundamentals, and we really provide that for people, and it's important.
So dig a little bit more into that, because I like the idea of, because we did that on our side with OECD, like we provided loans, but we were forcing them to go through like business assistance programs, or like the boot camp that you guys do from time to time. So talk a little bit about that. So the first time home buyers, and then there's a down payment program, but they have to, what are the specifics as far as what they have to take in order to tap into that?
So to receive any down payment assistance from any of our programs, the main thing is to have that first-time homebuyer educational certificate. So we know that you are well prepared and knowledgeable of what you are getting yourself into, the next steps to take on your journey, and then with the landlord training, we make sure that you're able to provide your tenants first legally the right way with how they should operate in their home, and just really how to function and how to manage that new responsibility that you have.
Okay, now how long does that take? What is that? How many courses, and as far as the first time home buyers, how many?
Sure. So I believe we break our courses up into 2 classes, and some of them are hybrid, so you can come in, do them online, but we offer them in different locations so that way they're convenient for really everyone.
Now, do you feel that most people don't know what you guys do and also what you offer? Because I know we get a lot of calls at OECD, like, I'm interested in the first-time home buyers, and we send them to you guys and stuff. Do you find most people have no idea that there's assistance out there for this kind of stuff?
It depends, I guess. We do partner. We belong to Fall River, New Bedford Housing Partnership, and Brockton Housing Partnership, and we have a lot of relationships with local lenders and realtors. So we do try to get the word out there that these programs are available for homeowners. So it's kind of, I guess it goes both ways. Sometimes people are surprised to know that there's programs available, and a lot of them don't realize that they can layer them. So that's always a nice surprise. So if they're working with a lender that is using Mass Housing for their mortgage, and they're getting them some down payment assistance through Mass Housing as well, they find out that they can apply with us and get some additional assistance, which helps. It helps preserve their savings and just makes the whole process more affordable and easier for them to get into their first home.
That's great. And on the lending side, can you get a little bit into that as far as what kind of lending, programs you have?
Yeah, sure. So did you want to talk about our lending programs?
So at the lending office, we're located at 12 Taunton Green, right on the second floor on the corner of the beautiful green here in Taunton. And we primarily focus on down payment assistance. We have the home modification loan program, which is a great program. It's one of my favorite programs to help administer. And we also have the Get the Let Out program, which is also very important that we really like to encourage people, especially at the first-time home buyers course, to be proactive on de-leading your home, because for children under the age of 6, they could have lead poisoning. So it's really important for them to be knowledgeable about things like that as well. So we do administer that loan for mass housing. So we offer down payment assistance for the Greater Taunton and Attleboro Consortium, and that covers about 15 different cities and towns here in southern Massachusetts. And we also offer a down payment assistance program for the city of Brockton, and we also offer a grant program for the city of Brockton that is forgiven. So the first 2 loans are 0% deferred, so you do have to pay them back upon sale of the property. But all of our different down payment assistance programs have different income and asset requirements that we do have to follow to be eligible. And you can always call us at 781-422-4220 or email the lending office at lending@nhsmass.org, and we'll help answer any questions, help you on this home buying journey or modifications, lead paint.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the home modifications? We get a lot of calls on that kind of stuff, and sometimes people qualify, sometimes they don't. Can you talk about your program and how people qualify? And
so our home modification loan program are for those with disabilities or trying to age in place. So there has to be a need for this modification in the home, right? Because we want you to be able to live a better quality of life in your home. And I like to call it our set it and forget it program. Because when you are struggling with a disability or trying to age in place and you bought this home many years ago, it fit you then, it may not fit your accommodations now. So you're struggling, you're trying to figure it out. Then you come to us and we offer this great program that is 0% deferred, so no payments until the sale of the property, and it's up to $50,000. And it's for things like ramps, or say you can no longer get into the bathtub, you want to level it out and put a nice walk-in shower in there. You need more ADA compliant bathroom fixtures, maybe it be the toilet, maybe you need to widen doors, you need railings now put up somewhere that there were not railings before, simple things as fences. It's really there to help live a better quality so you can continue your day-to-day living in the home.
So it would be like if a young family has a child that's in a wheelchair that was just born and is wheelchair ridden, so that would work to secure or build a handicap ramp.
You got
or you've got older people that now can't walk, so it would be like the same kind of thing, or to make ADA accessible bathrooms to make them ease around. So it's stuff like that. It's stuff to aid with people that are either just disabled or getting older and struggling. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. I think our most common modifications that we do are bathroom renovations. We also, stair lifts, elevators. We do a lot of safety fences and cameras as well. And sensory rooms also. Sensory rooms are a big modification, yes. Yep, so we do, try to partner with a lot. Spalding Hospital is very, they send a lot of clients our way. And we are starting to see a lot of partial funding for ADUs as well using this program. So we come in on the end of that, where typical ADUs are ranging in price anywhere from as $100,000 to up to $300,000 or more in some cases, but we would come in at the end of that to assist with ADU financing. And like Melinda said, it's great because it's a 0% deferred payment option.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Doesn't cut into.
So the only time you pay anything is when you sell the house. You have to pay the whole thing back.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can, if you want to, pay. If we do have a couple of clients that opt to pay, and that's fine. We're happy to take their payments, but it gives people that cash flow flexibility.
Any other lending programs that I've missed as far as that you think people need to know?
So I think the de-letting program is very
Yeah, that's
important.
important.
Massachusetts is a very old state,
Yes.
and there is a lot of lead out there. So we do offer, again, a 0% deferred de-letting program for 1 to 4 family units. We offer that for investments and owner-occupied properties. And it's from $30,000 to $45,000 you can get to de-led the home.
The owner-occupied is 0%, 30-year term, deferred payment. It is, again, these are all liens, subordinate liens on properties. And the landlord program is 3% fixed with a 15-year repayment period.
Well, it's just thinking about, especially with young kids, it's like it's a no-brainer, and you've got this mechanism that can help, take care of this right away, which is key, that they probably didn't even know existed. So
Yes.
It's very
awesome.
important.
Kudos to you for coming up with a program like this.
Not de-letting is going to limit your renters as well, especially with anybody with a child under the age of 6.
Yeah. And it's surprising. We do see a lot of children that,
surprising.
do have, I mean, like Melinda said, the housing stock in Massachusetts is aging, and a lot of beautiful older homes, but a lot of them do still have lead paint. So.
Yeah, and there's landlords that aren't as caring
Not as
about their
proactive,
buildings as we would like.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that. Great. Well, is there anything else as we wrap up? Anything else you want people to know about
I
NeighborWorks?
think,
Or you guys covered a lot. I mean, the
yeah.
home mod I think is important for
Home
people.
mod's super important.
Especially now where taxes are increasing, the cost of food is increasing. People need to fix their homes to make it more accessible so they're not falling. This
Yeah.
is so important to have programs like this with the
Absolutely.
de-letting, where people can't afford to take the lead out and they're forced to have their kids live there. And God only knows what will
Yeah.
happen after that. So
I think we just want, people to realize that we are a local resource in the community. We're happy to help them. Even if we didn't mention a program right now, we are federally and state and privately funded, so programs come and go. Sometimes we will administer a tranche of money for a particular program that might be needed, like maybe, home repairs or something along those lines. So it's always worth the phone call to see if there's something that we, plan on offering soon. So there could be, funding that we've gotten the opportunity to create a new program to address those issues.
And I know you're a great resource because like our office, your office gets a lot of calls where people are just trying to figure out how to get assistance, and you're always helping people, even if you can't help them, you're finding.
Try to point them in the
you
right
know,
direction.
that's
It's,
awesome.
when money's an emotional thing, and so isn't when you're in the midst of, we have a lot of homeowners that all of a sudden need to, take care of asbestos or new roof or a hot water heater or something like that. So, it can be overwhelming when you're trying to manage day-to-day life. So they need to come to, people in the community for help, and that's what we're here for.
And that number again?
781-422-4220.
Awesome. Well, Julie, Melinda, thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming. We appreciate your time very much. And we're wrapping up NeighborWorks Housing Solutions here in Taunton. Have a great day.